Hello. We're
Hello,
Hello,
everybody.
okay. It's
Ayun,
sounding good.
energy.
Looking great. We're on Kumu, by the way. There you go. Hello everyone out there, wherever you're watching. We're live on all Rappler channels right now. We have an exciting interview here with Cloud Kitchen
Cool.
startup MadEats. There you go. By the way, follow us on Kumu at Rappler.com, DOTCOM. But if you want to keep up with our guests, right? If you want to follow them right before we get into this, where can people follow Mad Eats?
So you can follow us on our Twitter and Facebook. That's at MadEatsCo. And our Instagram is MadEats.co.
Sweet. How about your website?
Oh, our website is MadEats.co. Really easy to remember.
There you go.
Surprising, no?
We're gonna go into the secret formula behind that logic later. But anyway, thanks so much for being here with us. This is Hustle Inside the Industry, where we talk to professionals and find out how they got here, why they do what they're doing, and what it takes to do it. We are live right now here on all Rappler channels, including Kumu. If you're streaming us on Kumu, please join in the conversation. You can send over some questions in the comments or some diamonds if you like what you hear. We promise it'll be good.
And if you're not yet on Kumu, you can download the app. That's Kumu, Kumu. And when you do, follow Rapper.com. We spell out the .com, so it's Rapper, DOTCOM.
Ooh, look at that. We got
Yun
the
na.
nice
Hey, bago to ah.
text. All right, I got excited. I
Yeah.
got excited.
That
Sorry.
was cool.
Professional
Okay.
mode. Professional mode. We're live. But if you like this interview, which I'm sure you will, and you want to play it back in podcast form in the future, just follow Hustle Inside the Industry on Spotify or any podcast platform. This episode comes out next Monday, September 27th. As always, this is Powie.
And I'm Tristan. We are part of Rapper's Hustle team. So,
So there you go, Tristan.
food. Yeah.
We're on yet another food binge. Yeah.
Oh nga, wait lang ha. I'll drink lang my coffee. I mean,
Oh,
that's it.
We love
Yes.
that.
Oh,
Yeah, so, familiar ba?
I didn't get
Yeah,
a
anyway.
closer look at that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Also,
Kasi,
why are you
you know,
drinking that at 8 p.m.?
yeah, I like the go method.
What
Like, lalo na
what
if we're
flavor
doing,
is that?
it's a dirty horchata.
Wow,
Oh.
Yeah, I like
Ooh,
it dirty,
awesome.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah, so
Sounds
thanks.
yummy.
That's a soundbite. That's a soundbite. Tristan, go on.
it's part of our food binge episode. Like last week we had Foul Bread. I'm sorry, the group behind Foul Bread and Bad Bird, Lowbrow. So this week we're doing another food episode, Tawi. So
Yeah, and
sayang lang last week kasi I wasn't able to join for technical difficulties. Like I got kicked out
yes, but now
in the
you're
middle of
here.
recording, yeah.
Now you're here.
And going method.
Also, by the way, like, did I miss the memo? Everyone's got like basically the same type of background going on, and then I'm like in another house over here. But anyway, I'm sure we'll talk more about that later. Um,
It's the Zen behind Yang Gang.
yeah, shoot, I gotta change my aesthetic. I'm on Home Buddies, not enough. Anyway, everyone, you're in for a treat because today we have the minds behind Yang Gang Korean Fried Chicken, if you heard of them, or Chow Time, or Dot Coffee over there. But these brands and many more are all part of the delivery only food startup known as Mad Eats. That's right. We're talking about cloud kitchens today. If you've heard of that, it's been one of the biggest buzzwords, at least in my social circles during this pandemic. And this cloud kitchen just came out of renowned startup accelerator Y Combinator. Woohoo! Congrats. Congrats. Send us some hearts, some diamonds, please. But to tell us more about the Cloud Kitchen startup scape, we have Mikey Villarreal, Keisha Lau, and Andy Cruz, the founders of Mad Eats. Welcome to the show.
Hi,
Hello.
everyone.
Hello,
Thanks for
Welcome,
everybody.
having us.
guys. Yeah.
Hello.
Has
Welcome to
everyone
our
eaten?
live
Has
cast.
everyone eaten?
Yes,
If
we
you
eat
have,
Coffee
every
na ako
day,
eh.
every hour.
okay, okay.
So So first things first, like kasi normally when we have the show, we ask like give us your pitch, especially when we're guesting startups, those who came out of the Y Combinator. Pero here, I think we want to take things back a little bit. Like you're a cloud kitchen, so maybe you can define what cloud kitchens are, what separates
Mhm.
it from like ghost kitchens, ano to, ghost type, wind type, cloud kitchen, dark
Dark
type.
type
So
pala, dark kitchen.
kasi
Oh,
dark
there it
kitchen,
is.
cloud kitchen. So para minsan it's like overwhelming. So can you give us like the basic overview of what what a cloud kitchen is.
I'm taking notes.
Okay. First of all, a cloud kitchen is actually a company that started this whole dark ghost kitchen type of business model. A cloud kitchen is actually by Travis Kalanick, used to be in Uber, and they're all the same essentially. Dark kitchen, ghost kitchen, cloud kitchen. But you know how Filipinos say Xerox, and it's actually photocopy. It's essentially the same thing.
Right.
But I won't geek out too much on like what a ghost kitchen, cloud kitchen, dark kitchen is. But essentially, it's just a kitchen. Nobody needs to know where you are. There's no storefront. Usually, meals are sold digitally. There are no waiters, no dining areas. It's just food concepts that are being made there, and they're out there for delivery, basically. Now, there are like different types of ghost kitchen business models, particularly MadEats. We're really focused on creating food concepts in-house that are really meant for delivery. And like nobody knows exactly where our kitchen is. I guess like that's the most exciting part, and we just deliver it to
Mhm.
you in the best way possible.
Wow.
Are you in the
Tris-
cloud kitchen right now? Is
well,
it anybody's secret location?
Yeah. Right.
I,
Right.
yeah, it's a
Undisclosed,
funny
yeah?
story. Yeah, but I mean, like, this is actually my house. We've been working here the past couple of months, and truth be told, one of our kitchens, a point 0.5 hub, is actually here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, but I
So
think that's definitely valuable for our audience to hear because I think especially for those who have similar ambitions as you, many are under a certain preconception that you need a certain amount of equipment or a certain setup, no matter what industry. And lo and behold, we have you who has literally started all this from your own kitchen. So anyway, Tristan, also a funny thing on that. I feel like a lot of restaurants like KFC or whatever, they have like a secret recipe. For them, they have like a secret location. you know? Yeah.
exactly.
Parts
Um.
unknown, kumbaga.
uh RIP Anthony Bourdain. Anyway, let's take it all the way back. For each of you, we want to get to know each of you more as people. Could you quickly tell us about your professional stories, your backgrounds prior to all of this, and how eventually the three of you came together and founded Mad Eats?
An Avengers moment,
Okay.
you know. Sorry, you just had to.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
How do you come together?
Okay, I guess I can start that. Because I basically kind of convinced Keisha and Andy to come join in this crazy journey. But we were all working together in a food group, and fresh out of college, we were just tasked to do a lot of crazy things that we weren't really naturally trained for. Manage food brands. I particularly had to open a lot of stores myself, together with the operations team and everything. I even slept in construction sites, stayed up there till 4 in the morning, painted walls. But I just essentially super loved food. My background talaga is brand marketing business, and at first like I didn't want to do marketing for FMCG products. I wanted to really do marketing and branding for experiential things, and what's more experiential than food? So I really jumped into F&B kagad. I did like a few stints in agency, and like when you're working in an F&B company, you're really an entrepreneur yourself because you're really doing everything from scratch. You have to figure everything out yourself. And
Mm.
in this particular traditional F&B company, like we in any F&B company, you're really trained to focus on trying to make better dining experiences, the best dining experiences. And it's super freaking great to see people eat like a big fat juicy burger, especially like, if you've conceptualized also some parts of the menu. During the pandemic, a lot of things have changed in the F&B scene. And then I just thought of this idea. I was like, shit, I really wanted to create like better delivery experiences. And what better way to do that than use a ghost kitchen? I used to call it cloud kitchen, Rin. So I've been working with Andy and Keisha for like the
Mm.
past 4 years in several food concepts, and like they were the first people that like I thought of when I first thought of this idea. I pitched to them an ugly pitch deck. It was so ugly, I didn't flesh it out. I was just like, Andy, I have this idea, and Andy was like, shut game. that was it was it was
So,
really that
verbatim ba
simple.
yun?
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
Well,
Verbatim, yeah.
Andy,
kind of. I mean, I was just like,
Ah,
you know what? Let's do it. Like, whatever. Fuck it. Let's
nice.
do it. It's something that we're really interested in. So yeah, you can continue, Mikey.
No, go ahead, Andy. Like, what happened? Like,
Yeah, yeah. How
when
did
you went?
Yeah,
Andy, how
so
did you come in?
yeah,
Anong
so
expletives pa? You can share the
um
expletives that you.
So, like when we share, you'll notice that we all have very similar backgrounds. But straight out of college, I joined the food and beverage industry as well. Specifically, I've had experience in brand, digital marketing, and content. My first job, I worked for a fast casual restaurant group where I was given the privilege of launching a brand, which was one of the most fun things I've ever done in my whole life. And then I moved to another food and beverage company where I did mostly digital marketing and content. And then right after that, I fell here into MadEats and founded it with Mikey and Keisha after her pitching this crazy idea to us. And the rest is history, I guess. Like I never would have thought that I'd be a founder either. So yeah, yeah, so maybe Keisha, you can share also, but like
Mhm.
we have quite similar backgrounds, but yeah.
Yeah, I guess same background. The only difference would be from managing brands. I kind of shifted into this new department called experience design, which really allowed me to dabble into like the different departments of the industry, like not just just the brands, but even operations, how things work in the dining room, like just packaging and all of that. So, but aside from that, I also manage a few brands on the side, just little local small businesses that still involves food and clothing. So, entrepreneurship is really what I'm into. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
wanna. Sorry, go ahead.
No, no, I was just gonna add.
Okay.
After I pitched to Andy, we went straight to Keisha. Same ugly pitch deck, and then parang a week later lang, we were like, okay, I guess like we gotta do something from scratch then, and it was really that simple, that fast. Like it didn't take me so much to make them legal, and they were like the perfect people to really partner up with because we've been working talaga for forever. We built some concepts ourselves too from scratch, and that was crazy too.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Can we timestamp that too? What year are we talking? What like when did this happen and when did you launch?
Okay, so we started working together like what, guys? Like 2017 ba? Right? 20,
2018.
Yeah.
yeah,
2017, yeah.
yeah, 2017, 2018. I was and then that's where we all met. And then we started Mad Eats just 9 months ago. That was it. Like ever since, like even before that, we were all working in different restaurant groups. But yeah, last November 2020, it was that fast.
Yeah, I wanna unpack that, Ren. I mean, it's good that Pawi mentioned the timeline because like, um, I think like that it's a common thing right now. Na minsan you get reduced. I'm sorry, I don't think that's a proper term. Pero like you got mistaken for a pandemic startup. So like I want to clarify if you are a pandemic startup or was this like an idea long brewing na parang nagkataon lang na okay when we launched
Mm.
it was the start of the
Mm-hmm.
pandemic and then sakto lang na it addresses some of the needs that this pandemic brought upon people.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. No, well, I mean, like I've always been interested in the ghost kitchen business model, just because and it just looks easier in terms of operations and like dining areas and things like that. But in terms of like actual execution, we really just I just dove deeper into it like during the pandemic when all shops had to close, and I had to. At that time I was like trying to figure out how to turn that initial company into this delivery only company, and I was like, okay, I think I gotta try this out for myself. Like I had me, Keisha, and Annie have so many food concepts in our brains, and then it was just like the perfect time for us to start actually implementing it in our own business. So yeah.
So how was that like? Kasi yung nga sabi mo like the ideas really came and like it really built the idea was built up during the pandemic. So
Mm-hmm.
how was the experience like building something amidst these challenges?
I guess like a ghost kitchen is like the best way. Like it's the I wouldn't say that it's not the easiest, but it was just timely during the pandemic. It's skeletal workforce. You don't have to work with so many people all the time. In the beginning, it was just me, Keisha, Andy. A friend of ours introduced us to a chef who already had this initial commissary, and we were just like five people fleshing out this idea. We wanted to work with fried chicken, and like we in terms of actual execution, the big like the seed talaga, like the beginning talaga, it was not that big of a problem, at least during the pandemic. We were like 5 people working on Yang Gang and Chow Time. I mean, even yeah, like even our friends would come in. Like we would just deliver the food to them and ask them, do you like the fried chicken?
Awesome. So you mentioned, I think it's pretty obvious, but you mentioned that you have tons of food concepts, and one thing that stands out to anyone looking at your site, especially again the timestamp, we're talking this. It's only been 9 months, and so much has happened. You have 4 brands, I believe, that I've seen on your website, right? Correct.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's
Um,
right.
there you go.
That's one of
So
them.
There you go.
there's some
Yeah.
math to be done there, like basically a new brand every 2 months versus non-ghost kitchen style. You're talking about brick and mortar, open a restaurant. Like if you're an aspiring restaurateur, if you want to go the traditional route, you open up a space, you put in millions of pesos, um, and then if it's successful after a few years, you expand that thing, and then maybe you want to delve into a different cuisine. Again, these are different brands, different cuisines, but like you've basically shown us that entire process within less than a year. So let me ask you, like, how exactly does that work? Maybe one of you specializes specifically in the development of those. So why don't you give us a bit of like some transparency here? What kind of work did it take to develop such a diverse um, menu, if you will? No, it's even beyond the menu. It's like a portfolio of restaurants, so to speak.
Experiences, you know.
Uh,
Okay, sure. So that's on me. I'm chief product officer. So I'm really in charge of like launching all of these products, right? So um, first off, we have like a really great chef. She helps us with all the R&D. That's how we get like to reach like these really fried chicken and all of that, you know. But I guess the first step that we really take the first step that we make would be like research, obviously, like looking at all the trends in the country. What do our potential customers want? What are they eating? What are they looking for? But aside from that, we conduct a lot of interviews. So we make it a point to ask like tons of people what cuisine they usually buy, when they buy it, how often they buy it. And based on research, we look into these like whole list of brands. And then we see what's feasible in the kitchen, what's hard to make. Um, and once we have that menu, we work with our R&D chef who helps us really like create all of the dishes that you are eating now. So whether it's our fried chicken, whether it's our fried nice bowls, and even our coffee. So just to sum it all up, really, it's just research, interviews, talking to our customers, developing it constantly. Even after launching these brands, we continuously develop them, and then yeah, and then we launch. It's pretty much
mm.
like the step-by-step process.
You mind if I unpack that a bit more? Because I think
Sure.
now we can talk also like it. This can be attributed to the business model itself, like the unique nature of
Mm-hmm.
ghost kitchens, right?
Mhm.
Right.
Again, like uh, that still sounds like a pretty straightforward traditional process, but I think the key element
Mm-hmm.
here is like the speed at which you're able
Okay.
to do all this. So what is it exactly about ghost kitchens, or the way you're structured, that kind of like it's super disruptive? This is like
Mhm.
really like rocking like my world right now. That to the extent that it's like you don't need to open a restaurant anymore. In fact, like to me, all of these are kind of just like all one menu for you. And then, like for example, if you're a fusion restaurant, it's like, oh, we have an Indonesian dish, we have an Asian. But then for you, you
Right.
can just say, no, this is like a different restaurant. This is so. Is that how you see it, or yeah, yeah? Just tell us more about that.
I guess if I were to like name three of the unique selling points of ghost kitchens and how they work, it would be like first, it's a lot of trial and error. We can easily launch brands, evaluate, and if it doesn't work out, we just scrap it and just relaunch another
Wow,
brand. So
yeah,
for
that's
yeah, for
crazy.
example, we have this brand called Chow Time, and we initially had this whole menu, you know, like sweet and sour pork, five spice fried chicken, and then after a few months, we realized that it wasn't working out. So we scrapped that whole menu, used the same equipment, but launched a completely new menu with like chicken chops
Mhm.
and pork chops just to see if that will work. So it's a lot of trial and error. So that's one. Two, I guess, would be a tip is that a lot of our items on the menu use the same equipment. So we really don't lose a lot by launching all of these new items, right? Because we can use the same equipment and launch a completely new menu. And the third would be, since we are Ghost Kitchen and we house a lot of brands, you can cross order on our platform. So, hey guys, you can cross order and order from all of the brands on the platform
That's
because it's a Ghost
crazy.
Kitchen. So all of these brands
Wow.
share this one kitchen, and we dish out like a ton of different items. Yeah.
Yeah, just to add to what Keisha mentioned also, I think like the best thing about a ghost kitchen is we can get feedback agad. Like
Mhm.
the second we deliver the chicken to, like, we would send it before to our closest friends, but then we realized that it's so easy to please our closest friends. So we would send it to like
Send it
friends
to
of friends.
enemies.
We send it to
Yeah.
Send it to
like
enemies.
like
Enjoy this,
yeah. As in,
jerk.
we would just send it kagad, and like usually because in a restaurant, in a traditional restaurant, there's so much training involved even up until like the waiter staff level. And here, like, you're literally doing research and development together
Mhm.
with the line cooks already who are in your kitchen na, who completely understand the kitchen layout, and like we're working with the R&D chef, so we're already validating it on a kitchen level, meaning we check na, is it efficient, is it like scalable for us to really keep making fried chicken in the kitchen. And we can easily just talk to our line cooks like kaya ba, and yeah, like that's how we
Wow.
did it before. And like it only took us like maybe 1.5 months to launch Yangang, right guys? Like the first time we launched it, honestly, we didn't like it. The first week, grab it. Keisha and Andy know that, right, guys? Like, it was a mess, but then we learned so much from it. We iterated it so much. First 2 weeks pa lang, and wala, like after the
And
two
now
weeks that
it's like our best-selling brand.
Oh
best-selling
yeah, for
brand,
sure.
yeah,
I see it
yeah,
everywhere.
like it's the best-selling brand, and it just took us like 2 weeks to iterate, like go back to the drawing board, talk to our chef. Hey, it needs to be crispier. People need to hear the crunch, and ayun, so that's how I
Mm.
guess like fast we usually do it. Yeah.
Yung nga parang Pawi, like, the way I see it, like any digital transformation, like, optimization is like key,
Mm.
optimization and agility. So, yun nga, I mean, in the past, if you, let's say, if you're a group of restaurants and then you launch another brand and it doesn't work, parang kailangan mo magbaklas. Una, you have
Yeah.
to build it, and then if it doesn't work, you have to like take it apart. At least with this, you have the agility, and yun nga, it's also very
That's
lean.
nice.
So you get to play around, like create new stuff, test it out, etc. So, Keisha, earlier you talked about that you're handling products. I want to delve into that. So one question, I'm gonna parse it because it's like a two-pronged question. So, parang one is like, how did you guys enter like this highly competitive space?
Mm.
Kasi as we know, like, for one, you were already like planning a cloud kitchen, pero it's like nagkataon na during this big shift, everyone also decided na, okay, we have to become cloud kitchens to adapt under the current circumstances. So one is like, how did you adapt? How did you deal with like entering a saturated space, kumbaga? And like, how are you doing right now, given you're already a year and you said like Yang Yang's one of your best performing. And then sorry, isingin ko rin lang, like, how are you dividing tasks? Sorry, no, ang ano ang broad. Basically,
You doing? How are you
it's
doing?
an interesting concept, yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah. Basically, how are you doing and how are you dividing tasks?
Oh my
Okay.
god.
Sorry na, diba? Put on the spot.
All right. Who wants to? Andy, we haven't heard from you in a bit. I don't know.
Sure, sure. So I guess I can talk about like what I do. So Mikey, Keisha, and I were all co-founders. But in terms of the tasks that I do, I'm the chief growth officer, which means that most business partnerships, creative, anything like used for the business that we need to grow, that's on me. So I handle the marketing, our creatives, customer support, things like that. Those are all under my scope. Anything related to do with business, I handle. Um, Keisha, maybe you can talk about product, and
Yeah.
Mikey about
Okay.
operations.
So
Yeah.
I'm the chief product officer. So it's not products, not really just the brands. It's two things. It's the brands, but also the tech side of our company. So
Mm.
tech side meaning our platform. So that's where we sell our products, MadEats.co. but we're actually working on integrating tech into our back end operations. How just to make the kitchen way more efficient than how it is now. So yeah, that's the two sides of product and a Mikey.
I do everything else basically. No, my co-founders really like do the most fun part because I knew that product and growth were the two most fundamental things that we really needed it for MadEats. And I am on top of operations, accounting, finance, HR, as in every single thing that a company needs to at least like build itself from the ground up. And I'm doing the fundraising aspect. I talked like most of the time during Y Combinator, and like my co-founders were really there to build, and I really needed them to focus on the building side. And just to answer your question in terms of competitive landscape, oh my god, of course, F&B is super highly competitive. That we knew that. That's why we're all like me, Kish, and Andy. We're always stressed, hungry, but we love it. That's what that's what
Wow.
we that's what that's what we're born to do. Joy,
Oh
like
my
coming into
gosh.
F&B, it was already expected. But like I guess like how we look at launching products is first it's usually gut feel. Parang like we know fried chicken is freaking huge here in the Philippines, and it's like people just eat fried chicken all the time, and it was the first perfect product to launch. And we did a few user feedback just to see how often do people eat fried chicken, and like what could be our different USP. I mean, there's so many fried chicken players here. Apart
Unique
from the
selling
fact that they're
point.
Korean, yeah, like we needed a good unique selling point talaga, and like put a twist to it. So we knew that Keisha freaking loves K-pop, and it
Mm.
all started from
Who
there.
doesn't?
Yeah, she loves K-pop. It really honestly started from there. And then she told me in Korea, their chicken is really known to be super crispy, as in super crispy. We knew we kind of wanted to launch fried chicken, but we didn't know how. But she was just like, look, this is how they make their fried chicken in Korea. And we would just like watch a bunch of YouTube videos on how they would make their fried chicken in Korea. And talagang like crunch talaga. And like that was our goal. Our brief to our chef was literally, look, this chicken needs to be crispy up until the next day and figure it out. Like we had to figure it out. We did it 100 times. It was super fun. We were filled with chicken. But that's how it's kind of started in the creating food concepts. It started from me, Kish, and Andy because we're super foodies. Obviously, like now that we're turning into this company, we had to like be a little bit more data driven. Now that's when we all had to dive deep into research, talking to customers, and that's why we launched Dot Coffee and Fried Nice because we knew that people eat fried rice and coffee all the freaking time. Yeah, of course. There you go. It was just like we just knew talaga. But soon though, like apart from like feeding the people giving people what they want, which is essentially what YC is all about. Like MadEats is basically just giving people what they want in terms of food and like perfect delivery experiences. So we have to talk to our customers and ask them, what do you like to eat every day?
Tristan, what do you like to eat every day?
Napaisip ako, ah.
Coffee.
To be clear, yeah, coffee's one. Pero like I ordered a lot of their chicken. Kasi di ba, kaya Pao, di ba? I'm the one who suggested this episode kasi
Yeah.
like I ordered the chicken a lot. Like I like the curry kasi I don't think not that many brands like have the curry chicken,
Yeah,
so I
that's
ordered
true.
that. And then
What are
Oh,
I
you?
saw
shoot.
it sa news na oh, Y Combinator, and then that was like after we had the Y Combinator episode then. So ko, tara,
Yeah.
let's bring them
Wait,
to the show.
someone wanted to comment
Yeah,
on that. Was it Keisha?
the
Did someone want to comment on the curry chicken?
Aren't we?
I mean, like that's one of the flavors that we really love as the
diba?
Nice.
founders.
Super.
Yo,
Not many
Yeah.
see?
people love it,
Oh,
but yeah. So
there you
Yeah.
go.
that's awesome.
We yeah, I think we might take it out, not sure, but we freaking love it. Like that's one of our struggles actually in food. Na we love certain flavors, but then not everybody loves it. So we're like, shit, but I
Mm.
Yeah.
want it. Like
Data.
one yeah,
It's the
data
data.
talaga. Pero
Yeah.
one clear product actually was the coconut milk hopia. The three of us, like
Wow.
Chef Lika made this. It's like basically buko pie, but in hopia form. I fucking love it, and voila, we had to take it out.
Nice. Well, there you go for everyone out there
Sana yung
listening. If
curry,
you
sana
gotta
yung
get
curry don't
those.
take it out, diba?
Guys,
Yeah.
bring it back. Please,
Please,
please tell us if
please.
you want the coco.
The more diamonds we get, the least likely our favorite menu items will get removed. On that note, I did want to give a few shout outs to people. Thank you for the halo halos. We got sent halo halos on Kumu, from Ricky Barrieta. And hey, it's Ellie. What's up? You can also send over questions if you're curious. We do have a question on Facebook since you were still talking about your humble beginnings. Someone was asking about, actually it was Jared. Uh, actually, first of all, you have a fan, Jared Vincent Real Famor. Hi, MadEats. Super love your food. Three
Oh,
deliveries every month. Wow.
oh,
Panalo yung
wow.
fried
Oh,
chicken duo soy
So
garlic.
speak of data, siya daw yung 3 dun sa ano niya.
Very
Take it from
yeah,
Jared.
yeah.
No, but we did have, hold on. We did have a question. So it was basically about how you started up. Just I know I spoke on I kind of mansplained you. I'm sorry for that. I said it reductively that you started with a kitchen, but no, please tell us like what kind of capital goes into starting a ghost kitchen, basically, if anyone wants to do it.
Okay. Well, to be honest, not that much, especially if this there's already a kitchen. I think the most expensive thing kasi in a kitchen is the initial infrastructure, which is the egg sauce, electricals, like nothing to do at least like with the deep fryers or all the capex. How we actually started into this whole fundraising thing. I got like I'm super close to the YC folks here in the Philippines. Pay Mongo, shout out,
Shout out.
hello, if you're there.
Shout out Luis.
um,
Somewhere there, yeah.
yeah, like they a lot of the startup community here is super supportive, and they super love the idea of a ghost kitchen, and a lot of them connected me to a bunch of really important people, investors, and I literally just got into this conversation, this very casual conversation actually with our one of our first few investors talaga who believe in MadEats, which was Justin Mateen from Tinder. And it was a 1 hour conversation about ghost kitchens and food. It was that casual. I was there preparing numbers, a deck. I was preparing like everything. I was telling Keisha and Andy, this is like my first pitch ever to an investor. First of all, just to let you know, me, Keisha, and Andy are first time founders of a startup. So you
Woo,
can, woo,
congrats.
you
Can we
can
get some
only
diamonds,
imagine.
please? Man, we need some of these.
You can only imagine how freaking nervous I was talaga. Pero it was so casual. He super loved the idea. Like it was just really about me talking about, I really want to scale these food concepts in ghost kitchens. Like I wanted to innovate and break the barrier of traditional restaurants and how long they take to launch and just, like keep making fun concepts. Like I was just super passionate about that. And the next thing I knew, the next day he wrote us a check, and then I called. I was actually in the beach that time when that happened. I FaceTime Andy and Keisha, and they were like, "Oh shit, it's real! It's real."
Crazy.
So we like met Chef Lika, and then we just pitched to her too, like that same ugly pitch deck, and that's all it took really. Obviously, like it takes a lot of grit, talaga. As in the beginning, me, Keisha, and Andy are doing everything by ourselves. So yeah.
So, I have a question lang na, kasi you talked about like this ugly deck. So, yun na rin ba yung pinang Y Combinator nyo? Like,
Yeah.
Justin,
Not
here's
a
our
TXT file, text file. Hello.
No,
Comic Sans? Was it Comic Sans?
word art, yeah.
it was not flashed out at all. Like it was just basically me trying to explain talaga what I want in my ghost kitchen. But Keisha and Andy knew it right away because they really just want to make food concepts. But how like we got into the whole Y Combinator thing was we there was just like an application where we just really wrote it together. We sat down, we wrote it together. Actually, fun fact: the first time we applied, we didn't get in because we didn't have any
Mm,
traction. We just had the idea, right? Like Andy
wow.
Keish, we wrote it together. No
Wow.
traction. But then at the same time, when we applied the first time, we were already ready to launch Yang Gang. And then we found out we didn't get in, and we were like, it's okay. This is so fun. You're like, let's just launch Ganga, and then Chow Time,
Oh, that's
and then
nice.
Fried Bites. Parang tuloy-tuloy na yun eh. And then we got an email from somebody in Y Combinator saying that we should apply again, and I was like, why? Well, like, why the heck not? And then Keisha and Andy are always game, Gavin. Like, they're just always game. So we sat down, we looked at the application again, we wrote it together, we sent it to a bunch of people in the startup community asking for, like, is this, like, what do you think? Is this fresh out enough? And then, yeah, the next thing I know, I was taking a shower and I found out we got into Y Combinator. And Keisha and Andy were like freaking out. We slept at like 5 in the morning that time. So yeah.
Whoa. Oh, that's the best. Sleepover.
I have like
Tristan, did you want to
one
follow up?
follow-up question regarding Y Combinator lang. Kasi like we've had other sorry, am I lagging?
Oh, you're
I
good
think
now. You're
it's like
good now.
I'm lagging there right now.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Ayan, sige. I'll ask it then just in case you hear my audio.
Yeah,
So
can hear you.
kasi like we've had like previous Y Combinator alum, what do you call them, like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
selectees, basic grantees. Anyway, we've had them on the show. So parang what I noticed is that like for many of them, it's like there's a pre Y Combinator and then post Y Combinator. Parang siyang, before and after, and it's often they say na their perspective changed after getting into Y Combinator. So I want to ask you the same question. Like, was there any shift in perspective? How did it change the operations? Like, did you feel like more quote unquote legit?
Keisha,
Diba?
Andy, go, guys.
Oh, this is well. Like needless to say, we learned so much when we went through the program. Like our perspective really shifted on how to grow a business. Like it taught us to be a little bit more ballsy, to be a little bit more aggressive, and I think like
Wow.
it's really helping us get to where we want to be.
Great.
Mainly like having the opportunity because I had to talk to a bunch of people from all around the world trying to get their startups off the ground is super inspiring and encouraging, but also very competitive. So we kind of just take that same philosophy when it comes to like working on what we're doing, which is MadEats. If you guys have anything else to chime in, like how was your YC
Yeah.
experience, guys?
Keisha. I think Keisha wanted. And
Well,
just to
I
be
guess
clear, this was all done remotely this year, right?
Yeah,
Otherwise,
Yes.
exactly.
you
yeah.
would have had to physically fly to the US
Yeah,
normally.
Yeah.
so normally Y Combinator is held in the States, but because of the pandemic, like they've been doing it remote, which is quite beneficial for us because that way we were able to stay in the country and really focus on working on our business. It
Mm-hmm.
was just tough for a couple of weeks because a lot of the talks and like the engagements would be between like 12 a.m. to 3 a.m. But but like once we were able to get to like get used to that body clock, it was an intense experience, but we learned so much. I like that's an understatement though, so it was pretty cool.
I
Understood.
have no doubt. I have no doubt. Keisha, what is it
Yeah.
like on your end?
Well, I guess aside from it teaching us how to be a little bit more ballsy, it just pushed us really. Like, in YC, you have to reach a certain percentage of growth every week. Like, your growth has to be like crazy. And to be able to do that, we had to think of all of these initiatives. We have to learn how to grow the kitchen and launch all of these brands. So it really just made us realize the potential of our ghost kitchen. Initially, we were a little bit more conservative with the timelines, but YC just was like, just try to grow, just try to do all of these things, and you'll see that eventually it'll work out.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, it's a crazy network. I really highly advise every freaking entrepreneur to try because I mean, you really won't lose anything. And Gabi, like, I mean, apart from the late hours, like, it just really showed also how passionate we were about this particular idea because we would really not sleep for it. And we just met like the best people. They're not even in food. Like most of the people that we met in Y Combinator, like our partners, which you call them as mentors in YC, they know nothing about restaurant operations. In fact, our group mates were all biotech, and some of them are not like the mentors aren't even on biotech, but they gave sharp advice and they exactly know when to say yes, no, and they give you complete control of your company. Like at the end of the day, you're the one who's deciding, and they're just
Right,
there
right.
to help. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it feels like Disneyland. Like Francis Plaza, Mongo would always say that it feels like Disneyland because they're always just they're super optimistic about their business always. And in a startup, it's super emotional, like it's like up and down. But like YC just made you like go, let's keep going.
Wow. Fast pass.
So
Get on that
probably,
roller.
Yeah.
inside the industry next year sa YC naman, like,
Yeah.
how will we?
Okay, YC, we got this podcast. It's pretty okay. But yeah, anyway. No, but that's great. I mean, at the end of the day, everybody, like, who doesn't love food, right? So, and I think almost anyone can have a valid opinion about food. I learned that from Ratatouille, by the way. Anyway, earlier,
We love that.
I did want to give I did
Not the
want
most
to give credit
sanitary, but
earlier.
yeah.
Highly recommend it as a movie. Don't try it in real life. I'm not sure if the rat will coordinate with you. You have to have a good relationship, working relationship.
Dun papasok yung
Anyway,
biotech ng YC. Anyway.
yeah. Okay.
Genetically
Anyway,
cloned, altered. Yeah.
I'm trying to, this is like Disney. Where I'm trying to stay on the roller coaster, and then we're constantly like going off the rails here. No, but this is great. Shout out to Lyle Tagalog earlier. He was the one who sent over the question earlier. Thanks for supporting. Reminder to everyone out there, we are wrapping this up soon. But if you want to send over questions, by all means, please leave comment. If you're on Kumu, if you like what you hear, leave us some diamonds. They really help us out. So anyway, now that you came out of the what do you call this? The this
Program.
Sige, go.
yeah, the program.
Incubator,
So yeah, I was
combinator.
trying to you know what was happening? I was gonna make a Dragon Ball Z reference. I forgot the reference. And then I also thought whether
Ah,
the guests would get it, and then I ended up with so anyway, now
The
that you
galaxy
got out
brain
of
ka sa,
there,
ano, in
yeah,
that
and the
5
galaxy I
seconds. Like,
galaxy brain myself. But no, now that you've won all this wisdom, all this global wisdom with all these people who have perspectives from all over the world and perhaps see things differently, we want to know, in your own opinions, looking ahead to the future, say beyond the pandemic, what do you see are the global transformations in the food and beverage industry? How will it readjust, supposedly, if this pandemic ends, readjust and live in harmony with the cloud kitchen disruption?
hmm.
I can
Who
start.
wants?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
go. This is
Yeah,
the
okay. So
imagination part, opinions.
yeah,
Go
so
ahead.
like
parang
I
parang
feel like for
Disneyland
the
lang. So, Imagineering.
yeah, so I feel like for the most part, like once things start to improve and the pandemic eases a bit, like I do think dine-in will still begin to flourish. Like I love dine-in and stuff like that. But at the same time, I do think the digital space for food is going to continue to grow. Like we saw even pre-pandemic that like the growth of the food delivery business was on its way up. And so there was just a very clear trend, even without the whole pandemic thing. So it was just simply accelerated because of all of the restrictions. And that being said, like I guess there's really a huge shift in everyone's perspective because of the pandemic. Like our habits are changing, delivery is becoming more and more convenient. So I think there's so much room for it to grow in the future with or without pandemic. And again, like the market for food, as you guys said, like it's highly competitive and it continues to grow. So
Hmm.
we'll be there until the very end, like just opening brands that we want everyone to try.
Wow. I, anyone, that's so inspiring. Does anyone does anyone want to throw in like just a random like prediction of the future for F and B in general? What do you think is going to
I
be trending? Yeah.
go Kish, go Kish.
Oh, I just feel like sustainability is something people are gonna
Mm,
look for more nowadays. Aside from just the packaging, really just more like transparency with the food that they're eating. Everyone's trying to eat a little bit more healthy. Everyone's stuck at home, and they're more conscious about just what they're eating. So I feel like sustainability as a whole will be just something people will be focusing on, or other food and beverage companies.
Yeah.
And Mikey?
Uh,
Yeah.
I think robots are gonna start making food. I'm kidding.
Are
I'm just
you? Are
kidding.
you?
The
I'm
biotech.
pretty sure they do
The
that already.
biotech.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like it's highly possible. There are a few YC companies in the States who actually pitched, robots making salads and things like that. Like it's highly
Yeah.
possible. I think like just to add to what Annie and Keisha are actually saying, there's just so much room for F&B to innovate. Like we freaking love this industry so much. That's why we don't really see competitors as competitors. We want everyone to grow because F&B is so fun. It's stressful, but it's fun. And like there's so much room for innovation. And I actually want like when we were in YC, I noticed that there were not a lot of food startups yet, let alone a ghost kitchen. And we felt a little out of place. We're like, we're not engineers. We don't know how to code. We do have a CTO. We are building. We have our own platform and everything. But the three of us, we don't code. So what I just like, I really foresee that there are more and more people who are going to start innovating F&B in every single way, whether it's through a ghost kitchen or robots making food. Like it's super possible.
So, how about yourselves? Because we also have a question here in the comment section, like asking, can you give us sneak peek of your like upcoming concepts? It's from Caitlin Lau. So maybe we can go into like what's next for MadEats.
Ooh,
Hmm.
a lot of can we say it now? A lot of fun stuff.
You want to do an
You don't
internal
have to.
huddle
You don't
really
have
quick?
to.
Sure. Let's give a teaser. Why not?
Yeah.
Okay,
Appetizer.
I can. I think I can share though that we are working on our app. That is like we're super excited about that. It's very clear that that's the path for us talaga. But on the food side, Kish, Andy, do you want to share that?
Let's just say that when we sent out the survey, we learned that one of the top cuisines is American. So that's maybe pizzas, maybe burgers, along the line of
Maybe hot
Amer
dogs.
maybe hot dogs.
Maybe.
So it's
Oh,
one of those.
oh.
Oh,
I was. Oh, sorry. Did anyone have anything else to add? Anything else to look forward to?
maybe we're adding a lot of exciting stuff with our current brands though. That I think that's
Yeah.
that's exciting. Like, sweet, they're sweet, so we love sweet stuff.
Yan na yung
Okay.
mga
Well.
yung hopya, yung coconut
Sad.
milk.
Listen,
We wish.
we'll look out for it then. Actually, earlier, like in my brain, I just like when you were first describing MadEats and how it works, I was like, oh yeah, they could do anything. And they probably couldn't do hardcore vegan though, because they
Galaxy
share an
brain ko.
eaten kitchen.
Challenge
I was like, nah, maybe not
accepted.
vegan. Or I
Challenge
don't know.
accepted though. We could.
Oh
We
Challenge
could.
snaps!
accepted.
Di ba
Okay,
yun
okay.
halal pa yung hardcore, di ba? Like you can't
Yun
use
na,
the
yung
same.
halal.
Yeah.
It can't be the same space. Can't be the same people. Tristan and I can do that for you. Anyway, speaking of people, one of our favorite persons is tuning in on Kumu. Shout out to Christopher Starr. He's actually the first person that told me about cloud kitchens, and even in our Inside the Industry episode with him, he gave a little sampler, if you will, and he gave us diamonds. Love you, Christopher. Anyway,
I met
we're
him
wrap.
actually.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly. So
yeah, I met him way back.
and again
He
to
sent
everyone out
again
there.
VGs. Thanks,
There you
Christopher.
go. There you
Sorry.
go. Thanks again, Christopher. Some more. But just to give everyone an idea, this is the startup ecosystem at play. There's a community here, and I do want to emphasize that to all the aspiring entrepreneurs out there. I'm gonna stop giving advice because right now you're the one supposed to give advice. So before we wrap this up, each of you give your last pieces of advice for aspiring founders, especially those in the food and beverage industry.
Hmm.
Okay. Well, piece of advice for anyone that like wants to start their own thing. Specifically in food, like to be honest, I guess it's really important to just think about who you want to feed first and like the things that annoy them, the things that make them happy. Another thing would be like just to think about, would I buy this? There's no rocket science to it really. We're very data driven, but at the same time it's more of just listening and talking to your users. Yeah,
Nice.
so just have that intent in mind of who like you're trying to get your product to, and then it'll be really easy.
Keisha?
My advice would be, at least here in the Philippines, like everyone's willing to try anything at least once. Month after month, week after week, like they're just different trends. Meaning people are just willing to try this and that, whatever ube, whatever cheese. They're very experimental. So
Oh,
don't be afraid to get your product out there. The craziest product, and people will try it no matter what.
Yeah. I guess like related to what Keisha said, I think like one of the best advice that I get from YC is that you listen to nobody else but your customers. And if somebody says no and it's your customer, ask them why. But if someone tells you no, your idea sucks, and they're not your customer, just listen to the no. Don't
mm,
listen to the why. I
yeah.
think that's. I mean, like
Wow.
especially as first time founders, it's a roller coaster, and we're women, so it can be emotional to say the least. But we've learned to really like nitpick on what to really listen to, and like there's nothing more important than our customers, and that's what we try to just to keep our head on the ground. I mean, feet on the ground, and just like listen to
Mm,
people, to hungry people. That's it.
love it. Listen to Tristan.
Nice. Mm.
Tristan, remember what did you tell them not to do earlier? He's your customer. Sorry, we're
How
keeping.
happy
Sorry,
ako
we're
naman.
keeping the curry. We're keeping the curry chicken. Basically, we're keeping the curry chicken.
We'll try.
Yes,
We'll try.
please. Curry.
We need
Yes.
more
Sige, I'll,
orders.
I'll, I'll order more curry,
Ayan. Yan. Leave a note. Anyway, it's been such a pleasure so far. Already learned a lot, especially in those last few seconds, by the way. Those are just like bangers. It's almost like you prepared that. Amazing.
Oh,
Anyway, before we let you go, we're going to wrap things up now as we always do with our play of the week. We talked a lot about work. Now it's time to talk about play. Any fun activities or recommendations for our listeners to unwind from the busyness of business? I've been practicing that. Who wants to go first?
I can go
Pati who wants to
first.
go first, ano yan practice yan.
Okay, so you know how we're all stuck at home now, whether it's our house or a condo. There's this channel on YouTube. It's called Never Too Small. So they share different apartments, condos around the world that are just really, really small but are utilized well. So imagine just like beds with storage, just hiding extra storage in your house. It's super awesome. Never too small.
Oh,
That's what
check
it's
that.
called.
Wow, that's a good one. Next bench, Tristan. All right, who wants to go next?
I can go next. Yeah, so something fun that I like to do. I love playing board games. I'm particularly addicted to this board game called Catan. So
Yes.
yeah, yeah. I spend a lot of time on this website called Colonist, and I just play Catan with random people. That's how I like to unwind.
Nice. Let's play together. It's colonist.io, right? Just
Exactly, colonist.io, and challenge accepted.
oh snap!
Ayan
Oh my
na.
gosh!
We're
ah,
gonna live stream that,
Andy's
di ba?
super good.
Rappler game
Andy's
night.
super good.
It's
We're
a
gonna
showdown. Dun, dun. Awesome.
Yeah.
So we got a YouTube channel. We got online board games. What about you, Mikey?
Oh my God. This is a pretty it's an answer that Keisha and Andy know because I'm really an addict. I am a super yogi. I do like crazy yoga, like Andy and Keisha know I get super cranky if I don't do 3 hours of yoga in a day. Which is too much actually. I have to stop, but I can't. So I use this app called Glow. Everybody get on Glow. I don't think a lot of people are on Glow, but it's a super super great app. Like every single type of yoga is there: Ashtanga, Vinyasa, and it's like the perfect way for me to just not think and I just focus on breathing. And I got super addicted to it. I keep inverting. Like I even invert when I'm drunk. So I love it.
Wow. Drunk yoga. They better have that. Better be one of their styles that they offer.
It's not safe. Don't do it.
Oh, okay. Okay. Don't do that. Sorry, we're cutting that one out.
Kala ko magano tayo sample Sample.
Sample. Yeah.
Drunk yoga.
Yeah. Tristan, it's on to you, buddy.
Mm. Ako kasi like I've been jumping sa bandwagon of like all the recent shows that Netflix dropped. Like
Lot.
last week they released Sex Ed, Squid
Yes.
Game,
Squid
and
Game.
Squid
yeah,
Game.
diba? Yeah, so
I
parang
knew
like
it.
over the weekend I had to watch. I mean, it's all over the net, and I think people are also like on the bandwagon na rin. But it's really good. I mean,
It is good.
I don't think I have to explain what it is. Was like people are talking about it, pero like the TLDR is that Squid Game. It's basically very like battle royale, but it has a social commentary behind it. So basically, the winner takes all the money, the losers die, and then sex ed again, self-explanatory
Yeah.
teens
What season is
navigating
Sex Ed on right
sexuality.
now?
It's a third na.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and
Wow.
yeah, so like
Yeah.
that's it. Basically, I jumped on the bandwagon and then I've been watching. But siguro like if something unique na lang, I've been also doing this. They call it the Bada binge. So like in preparation of like the Sopranos prequel, The Many Saints of Newark. So I'm like watching all 6 seasons in 6 weeks. So I'm currently in
Oh my
season
gosh.
5. Yeah. Pero
So
yung nga,
series galore.
since I've been doing the Netflix binge, medyo na-delay ako sa challenge.
No, it's all good.
Anyway,
Wow. Okay.
your turn.
Binge,
Yeah.
binge, binge. Yeah, but I'll
Bada
second the
binge. Bada binge.
bada binge, bada boom. I'm gonna second the Squid Game endorsement because I normally don't just hop on to whatever Netflix recommends me, but I got hooked first episode. It's a K thriller. It's my first Korean series that I'm really actively consuming. I haven't gotten into any K
Startup.
drama.
North Star.
Yeah, I started watching Startup. Even Startup, I was like,
You
even
should
Startup,
love
I kind of
that.
fell
Diba?
behind. But yeah. Anyway, so my play of the week is kind of related to that sentiment, and I guess I didn't do this exercise right because it is quite businessy. Um, we're coming out with a few episodes with another startup, Sprout, and the founders recommended this book. To me, the founders' dilemmas. I'm not sure if you three read that or had to read that, but I feel like you some things might hit too close to home, like the challenges of founding companies with people close to you and stuff. No, but it's really just I like reading. I always have two books that I'm reading at a time, one hard copy and one in my ear. So this one's in my ear. Founder's Dilemmas, highly recommend for anyone who's just interested in startups and entrepreneurship. Anyway, that's it, everyone. Thanks. You
Hey,
did it.
before we end, to be clear, you didn't listen naman to the ebook while we were doing the show, no?
Oh,
Ah,
I had that on speaker. No, no,
that's
no,
like
yeah, yeah. I was
champion
like,
level multitasking.
as Mikey's like giving all the throwing
Yung
in all
Galaxy
this business
Brain.
jargon, I'm like glossary, glossary. No, no, no. But anyway, Matt Eats, fantastic. Remind our audience where they can follow you.
Yeah, so everyone, you can follow us on Twitter and Facebook. That's at MadEatsCo. Our Instagram, though, is at MadEats.co. And our website, conveniently, is MadEats.co. No at. So there you go.
Yes. Very
Excellent.
easy.
Nice. Well, you can follow your hosts if you want. We're not forcing you, but we'll make it worth your time. I'm at Howie Fiction on Instagram. Tristan.
And I'm Tristan Zinampan. No .co. Just Tristan Zinampan at
Yeah.
all platforms, I
Yeah,
Nice.
guess.
we weren't as creative. We'll work on it.
Yeah.
But anyway, thanks, Matt Eats, for joining us. It was a pleasure. Woohoo!
Thanks for
Thanks
having
so
us.
much. Thanks
Thanks,
for having
Bobby,
us,
And
guys.
Tristan.
want to
Thank
thank
Please eat
you.
our food.
everyone out there. Thanks to Marga from Rappler's production team, Ia from Rappler's community team, Rappler's creatives team, and our intern, Yana. Thank you out there, everyone, for watching. If you haven't already, please follow Rappler on all platforms. You can catch us on Kumu by following Rappler.com, and you can follow the Hustle Inside the Industry podcast on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. We bring you a new episode every Monday, so you can start your week with a little motivation. Bye, everyone.
Yay.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a great time.
Bye.